and I was able to leave the commercial gym. 1 month in, I'm up 4K, and now I'm all around every single weekend
Yeah.
traveling, doing whatever I want to do, and it's
Yeah.
been absolutely amazing.
If I just understand how to do sales a little bit better and also how to market myself, because I already have the retention part down. These people are loving it. They don't want to leave me. They don't want to go to another coach. Even if I move, like they become loyal.
But one issue was that I was extremely underpaid. I felt like I was spending so much time in the gym, literally 5, 6 days of my week, literally from morning to night.
Yeah, so dope. So tell us who you are and where you're from.
Well, first of all, my name is Taline Salem. I am 20 years young, and I started personal training a couple years back, but I did not take it too serious. I was just in commercial gyms. Didn't really, know what was going on. I actually got scouted in to be a personal trainer in there. So I had so much going on in my life already, and I just decided to hop onto this personal training business. And then I ended up actually falling in love with what I do and helping other people out because I was able to see myself in literally every single one of my clients. It didn't matter whether it was them trying to lose weight or build the muscle. It was something that I had related to in the past, and I was so happy being able to help these people out. But one issue was that I was extremely underpaid. I felt like I was spending so much time in the gym, literally 5, 6 days of my week, literally from morning to night. There was so many different breaks throughout my day. I felt like there was so much energy taking and I was not getting paid enough. And not to mention, they were taking 65% of my commission and I was only making 35% commission. So they took a lot of my profit. And instead of me just sticking to the commercial gym, I ended up, reaching out to you, Dre. And because I knew that, we got in contact a couple months back, but I wasn't I
Almost a
wasn't too
year, but nobody was
confident.
counting.
Yeah, yeah. It was a year back, but like who's really counting? But yeah, I think at that time I just wasn't confident enough in my work, which I think is actually, if I started then, I would have been just fine in my opinion. But I know that I'm now obviously extremely confident in my work and I was ready to come and work with you. And once I did, literally 2 weeks in, I was able to leave the commercial gym. 1 month in, I'm up 4K, and now I'm all around every single weekend
Yeah.
traveling, doing whatever I want to do, and it's
Yeah.
been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I feel like a whole lot was happening all at once. And every time we checked in, you were like, yo, dude, I put in my 2 week notice. You're like, I think I'm leaving earlier. You're like, yeah, like I need a gym to shoot at. I need content.
I
So
was ready because it was like day after day. I was like, okay, what's the next move? What's the next move? I felt like there was so much that I had to do. But then once I was able to like find a space, find a manager, find you a mentor, find somebody who was able to work with me. And on top of that, like I had an amazing team is also working on the exact same thing. So it's like, hey, I was able to find a community that was, in the exact same boat as me, people who are willing to help. And even though it felt really fast and everything was drifting off really fast, I couldn't be happier to where I am today because I mean, look,
look at
there's
me.
not much to it.
Dude, that's awesome. So when you reached out, it was actually a little bit over a year now, just because a couple
Mhm.
months have gone by. So when you reached out initially and you said that you didn't feel worthy, did you not feel worthy of like being able to help people at the level they wanted, or being worthy into like I could charge people for this
It was
myself?
honestly both, just because I didn't have a set loyal clientele, so I didn't really know whether it was, my work that was, helping them out, or whether it was just the prices overall. I really didn't know what the rooted issue was, but it wasn't until I was able to build these relationships with every single one of my clients. Not only did the prices make sense, but them staying and continuing to pay also made sense because they were able to see the results. So once I was able to be in that position, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. I know that I can continue charging them, if not even more, bring them even more value. And I know that these are going to be some loyal paying clients because that's what they've been used to.
For sure, for sure. I think your video cut out. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're good. We're back.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. And so I never got started at a commercial gym. I was going to take the start there. Ended up going straight into independent, but I've worked with so many coaches leave commercial gyms. So I understand like where a lot of coaches are feeling. So I'm sure you can relate to where it's like, you don't know where to get started. So you start there and you start noticing like the retention of these clients is really dependent on the coach, right? That's where they're renewing. They're not renewing because the name of the gym here.
Right. It's crunch.
Yeah. And so you start to realize that, okay, these guys are just marketing like to get these people in here. And, you start getting comfortable with sales. And you're like, hey, if I just understand how to do sales a little bit better and also how to market myself, because I already have the retention part down. These people are loving it. They don't want to leave me. They don't want to go to another coach. Even if I move, like they become loyal.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. And it's a
That's
really
the
good
best thing
feeling.
about it.
Yeah. And it's an insane feeling where you're like, damn, like these people are paying me, like they're paying me directly because like they trust that I can help them. But it's insane the fact that they'll be like, yeah, wherever you go, I'm going.
Literally, yeah. And it doesn't matter whether I'm going to another private facility or even if I'm moving my business completely online. It's like, whatever you're doing, I've already been working with you. So whether you're going to be taking it online, I don't mind being online with you. If you're going to go to a private gym, take me with you. You know what I mean? And that's literally the responses that I've been getting. So it's been absolutely amazing.
Okay, dope. Yeah. And so, yeah, so I think almost, I don't know, I don't want to quote it. It was almost a year that went by before you were like, but when you reached out, you're all in. You're like,
I
yo,
was all in. Yeah.
yeah. So what was it that was like, it hit the trigger where you're like, let's do this?
I'll tell you, Dre. So mainly my biggest thing is that I grew up in Egypt, and my biggest thing is that I like to visit my family and my friends in Egypt for at least 2 months in the summer. So the fact that I was only able to take off 2 weeks in my summer and come back to a workspace that, wasn't even that positive, I did not feel like I meant to be there. Like I felt like I was working for 11 months straight only to enjoy it for 2 weeks. It just did not make sense in my head whatsoever, especially when I spent so much money on that little vacation. I could have just, extended it so much longer and get my money's worth, but instead I had to come back to an underpaying job. So that was the point where I was like, all right, I can't do this anymore. I am never going to take a vacation and only stay for 2 weeks. That's not me.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, all right, Dre, it's time to get to work. It's
You're like,
time to
nothing changes if nothing changes.
literally.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Sorry.
It is crazy because I do tell coaches like everyone's on their own timeline. Maybe if you would have, I don't know, we could play what ifs all day long, but if you would have got started back then, you weren't like at that mental capacity. Like you weren't at that limit of like going over the edge back then.
Yeah.
So you may not have come in super heavy like you did now. Maybe it took all that bottling up for you to be like, yo, like, okay, this is the turning point, and then you killed it right off the jump. You're like, show me what to do. I'll do it. I'll make this work.
Exactly. And that's where I feel like everything literally happens for a reason, and the timing happens for a reason. Like, yeah, I could have started a year ago, but would have the motivation and the determination been the same? Probably not, because I was able to build so much passion throughout this past year where it was like, all right, I'm determined to do this. I found what I want to do. Let's get to work.
Yeah. And then I know you did mention when you were there too, when we were talking numbers, right? Because not to make it all about money, but numbers are important, right?
They
Especially
are
if you do
extremely.
visit home for longer than 2 weeks. It takes 2 weeks just to get there. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Look, travel process is 2 weeks,
Yeah.
bro.
But you mentioned you had about like 16, it was like 16 clients or so.
Around so, yeah.
Okay. And then how many sessions were you doing per month?
God, it was a lot. Every day it would be anywhere between 4 to 8. Times that by 5 a week, and then times that by another 4. That's a little bit too much math for me. But I would tell you that I'm spending most of my hours in the gym, like morning till night. I was in the gym,
Yeah.
and that was awful.
And so what were you making after all that per month?
It was really bad, dude. I was making anywhere between, so every other pay was our commission pay. So one pay would be around $300, another pay would be around $600. So how much was I making a month? $900. How much am I making now? $4,500. And that to me is nuts.
Insane. Yeah. You literally
Insane.
doubled your income, and I would say, man, just cut your workflow in like a fraction.
Yeah, 100%. And now I'm rarely spending so much time worrying in the gym. Instead, I have such a like an organized setup over my computer and over my phone. That's the best thing about it, is like literally over my phone, I'm on Trainerize texting my clients. I see something that I'm like, yo, what is that? I'm texting them immediately. And it's just like they feel that I'm still like giving them as much, if not even more attention. And it's like, hey man, she's keeping me accountable every single day rather than just once a week. And that's amazing.
Yeah, 100%. So what do you feel like the major takeaways have been like these past couple weeks from like starting to
Um,
where you are now?
I think it was mainly just my biggest takeaway was just reaching the right people or just having people trust me enough on Instagram because obviously I came from an Instagram page that was all, girly and, just a girl,
Human
literally just a girl. That's
It was
all it
human
is.
influencer.
Exactly, just a media influencer. So I had to like convince these followers, like, hey, I know that you guys see me in the gym, but I also know that I can help you out. And I think that was my biggest takeaway. But once I started posting my transformations and like other people's transformations, that's when I really got people to start trusting me a lot more. And that's when I got people just flowing in. And I
building
think
this
that was my biggest takeaway.
building the social proof that you can do what you say you can do. Right.
Exactly.
And then so another thing too is like with the personal branding, because before it was a lot of photos. And so
Mm,
I think it's hard not to judge a book by its cover, but when somebody does give off the influencer vibes, it's not very welcoming or friendly. But as people talk to you, they realize like that's not you at all.
yeah, it's like,
Right.
hey, that follower count literally has nothing to do with her. When you get to speak to her face to face, one on one, it's like she is this energetic, bubbly girl that is just willing to help. Like that's the best thing about it is that like I'm never making it seem like this is something for a business like. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm a friend that's available to you. If you need me in any way, shape, or form, even if it's just a free consultation call, I am here. And they need to hear that. They need to see that.
For sure. Yeah. And
Mhm.
I feel like it lets their guard down. They see that you're a human being, and it opens up more avenues for more conversations, more
Yes.
messages, right, and all that stuff. So it shows your personality behind it instead
Yeah.
of just like super shredded Taline. It's you bring the journey with you, so that's awesome.
Very good.
Do you have any regrets in starting?
Um, Honestly, that I didn't start before summer. If I
Yeah.
started before summer, I would have been completely fine. But
Yeah. You're like you had a pretty productive summer, but it would have been really crazy to start
that
before.
would have been a crazy summer. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it's
Not
God's
gonna
timing.
lie.
God's timing. Okay, yeah, dope. No, I appreciate you jumping on and talking. Would you recommend PT Pro to the next coach?
Dude, absolutely. If you are somebody who is a coach who's willing to go online or just work with a mentor, your guy is Ray. Is right. I'm so serious, Ray. When you have literally from the very first call that we've had, you have helped me out so much. If it wasn't for you, I would not have been where I am today. The amount of advice and information and things that you have helped me out with, it's truly unbelievable. And I'm so thankful for that. So 100% would recommend you to anybody who's trying to start it out as well.
And you're like, and he
Yeah.
doesn't take 80% of my check. That part's insane, man. I think after working with so many coaches too, I think that was like it was the hitting point for me. It's where I was like, no, we got to get this girl out of there, right? Because
Yeah.
normally it's not that high, but it's just like you just come with so much value, and then so just how you're there for your clients is how we try to be for ours as well. It's more than just
Exactly.
like give us your money and then watch these videos. It's like we
Yeah.
genuinely care to see you guys win. And especially when it's coaches like you that show up. Like it makes our life so much easier, but so much more enjoyable to want to help people that like want to help.
Yeah.
So
Here's
we
the thing. If the people want the help, they're gonna come reaching for it. And that's the best thing about it. And you're gonna see right through that. So it's a beautiful life, man. It's a beautiful life.